Good afternoon. On today's news broadcast, another gunman, a fatal crash, and psychic animals, plus local sports, weather, and more. APSU-TV News starts right now. Good afternoon and welcome back to APSU-TV News. I'm Brandon Crosslin.
And I'm Rachel LeJeune.
Friday, January 26th, a gunman was reported near the APSU campus around 4 o'clock in the evening. A shot was heard at a gas station and a reported gunman started making his way to the campus on Craft Street. Students were cleared to leave their rooms at 9:36 p.m. If you see any suspicious activity, contact campus police immediately at 931-221-7786.
A woman was killed and her husband injured in a small plane crash in Tennessee. Jennifer Webb is in Scott County with the latest.
Past the yellow tape and down the embankment rests the wreckage of a small plane. The plane was supposed to land at the Scott County Airport Tuesday, but crashed onto private property, injuring the pilot, David Maxwell, and killing his wife, Vicki. Their dog was also on the plane, but survived. Dent Young with the Civil Air Patrol says crews were called around 11:15 Tuesday night to assist with the search of the missing aircraft.
We knew from radar forensics approximately where the aircraft would have been, so we centered our search on that. Spent about 2 hours doing that and then came back and landed.
Because it was too dark, the Civil Air Patrol was not able to send in ground crews and did not locate the plane. The search resumed on the ground around 7 and by air around 8:30 Wednesday morning.
While they were beginning their search, we were notified that a USDA helicopter, which had been in the area on another mission, had been diverted to assist us in the search, and they'd located the aircraft.
Young says the plane did not have a flight plan.
This pilot was flying what we call under VFR visual flight rules, and while not required to file a flight plan, if the pilot had filed a flight plan before they took off from Florida, this rescue effort, and it would have been a rescue effort, would have started about 2 hours after the aircraft was overdue to land.
Instead, the search effort didn't start until 8 hours after the probable landing time.
The NTSB and the FAA will look into what caused the crash. The investigation could take months.
Well, deputies say a Tennessee woman was kidnapped by her boyfriend and beaten with a wooden plunger handle. Melissa Terrell was reportedly held captive by her boyfriend, Charles Cook, for 5 days before she was able to escape. CNN reporter Jerry Askins has more.
Here is how family and friends are used to seeing Melissa Terrell, a mother known for her smile and full of life. This is what they see now, bruised, black and blue. Investigators say her boyfriend, Charles Cook, beat her badly and held her captive at her Lauderdale County home for at least 5 days.
She's lucky to be alive.
Her devastated father has not left her side.
She's a beautiful girl, and she don't look like herself. And I just can't believe it.
Her family says they became suspicious after she missed 2 weeks of work.
He had her phone and he was texting everybody like it was Melissa, don't come here, I've got the flu, I've got strep throat.
But police say during that time, for days, Cook used the plunger handle to beat her. Right now, her family says her eyes are swollen and she has bruises all over.
He thinks it's okay to hit a woman. I'd love to see somebody beat him.
Melissa was eventually able to get away to a neighbor's house when her boyfriend left.
She ran inside and said that she needed help and she needed to call 911.
He's the same guy we've learned was out on bond for violation of a restraining order against a different woman in Dyer County.
Nobody knew this guy. She met him on December the 20th online.
Her family is sending a strong message.
Don't let looks fool you. If you ever go online dating, you check them out.
Punxsutawney Phil predicts 6 more weeks of winter after seeing his shadow on Groundhog Day. CNN's Omar Jimenez is in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania for the big reveal.
6 more weeks of winter to go.
It's 6 more weeks of winter. Puxatawny Phil sees his shadow for the second year in a row.
Groundhog Day!
You may know it from the movie that's been around for decades, but Groundhog Day is a tradition that goes back more than 100 years.
Go Phil!
Yes!
In their groundhog hats, Bob Okowitz and Mary Davis were watching the movie about a year ago and decided they needed to be a part of the celebration.
Just a lot of great memories, meet a lot of great people.
February 2nd, 1886 was the first Groundhog Day, tied to when groundhogs typically wake up from hibernation. And while the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration say the groundhog has no predictive skill whatsoever, maybe no one could predict what came in 1993.
To the groundhog.
In the years following the release of the hit movie Groundhog Day, crowds went from double digits to as high as 30,000.
Well, it's Groundhog Day. Again?
And while no one here seems to be caught in a continuous loop, this is a tradition that's come year in and year out for over a century. In Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, I'm Omar Jimenez.
For more on the weather here, let's head over to Aaliyah Harris.
Thank you, Rachel. So today for our current national temperatures, Seattle's at 50, while Los Angeles at 76, Denver's at 55, and Dallas at 49. And then over in Chicago, it's a little colder there, so Chicago's sitting at 17, Atlanta's at 39, and New York is at 31. So today, for today's highs, Memphis is sitting at 38, Clarksville's at 33, Nashville's at 35, while you see in Knoxville it is 33, and Chattanooga 40. So tonight's low is going to be really, really cold out, so be sure if you're going to go out there, put on a very, 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 very comfortable coat so you won't be out there freezing. For Memphis, it's 27, Clarksville is at 21, Nashville is at 22, while here in Chattanooga it's 23, and Knoxville at 19. So our current temperature is at 28 degrees. It's going to be partly sunny today after yesterday with all the little snow and everything, with the wind at north at 8 miles per hour. And then tonight's temperature is going to be really cold, 21 degrees, wind southeast at 4 miles per hour, and there's no chance of rain or anything or snow. All right, so our 5-day forecast with the temperature actually going down with the cold coming in. It's going to be on Friday. It's going to be partly, well, it's going to be sunny, high 33 with a low of 21. On Saturday, it's going to be a lot of clouds out and a high of 48 and a low of 40. Sunday is going to be a high of 47, the low of 22. And on Monday, it's going to be mostly sunny with a high of 41 and low of 32. And then temperature seems to climb back up on Tuesday with a lot of rain and a high of 54 and then a low of 38. Still ahead, Brice tells us what's happening in the world of sports, and APSU-TV News. We'll be right back.
The honors program at Austin Peay started. There was a group of professors who thought, what are we doing for our strongest students? And since then, the program has changed and grown with the university. And now we have over 300 students who are in the program. It's open to students of all majors.
I wanted something that would set me apart from other pre-med students. So I thought the honor program would help me with that. It's pretty easy to make friends here because everyone here is focused on school because they're in the honors program, so they want to get something out of school. And it's just a nice place to come and study.
In the classrooms, they will be asked to stand on their tiptoes, is what we say. But the classes are more interesting. They move along a little faster. It's a place where those students can congregate to study, so I think students are better prepared for careers and for life in general through that academic curriculum.
Every year, we lose 400 people to carbon monoxide poisoning. 170 of these incidents are from non-automotive consumer products.
Poisoning can help to be prevented by installing a CO device in your home, having your appliances serviced by a qualified technician, even having your mechanic regularly touch up on your exhaust systems. Never have your vehicle running in a garage that is connected to a home, or have the garage door closed.
Security surrounding the Super Bowl 52 is a top priority for not only the NFL, but also for federal and local law enforcement. Officials began planning for a big game 2 years ago. CNN's Jennifer Mariel reports.
The common goal for agencies that planned for Super Bowl 52, to make it a safe and enjoyable time for all. They had to plan for events in the heart of a bustling downtown.
And building out a secure perimeter took a little creativity.
The Secretary of Homeland Security offered information on what's gone on behind the scenes for the past 18 months.
We've conducted over 200 different security assessments of the critical infrastructure in the surrounding area. We've provided counsel and recommendations on protective measures resulting from those assessments. And we've hosted about 52 trainings in the area on topics ranging from active shooter through to cyber bombing, any sort of hazard or event that could occur.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Minneapolis's police chief reminded Minnesotans and visitors hosting a Super Bowl is vastly different now than it was in '92.
Since then, our world has changed, and we really need to make sure that as a symbol of our freedom for Americans to get together and enjoy their pastimes, we have to make sure and ensure that their safety is first and foremost.
There is no credible threat against the city or the Super Bowl, but federal officials say they will continue to monitor intelligence until after the big game. For more information on what's happening in sports, let's head over to Brice Bement for a sports update.
It's been a big week with Austin Peay basketball. Men's and women's basketball both played last night at University of Tennessee Martin. Let's start with the men's. The Govs won an exciting game last night with a score of 59-57. Avery Ugba had 28 points and could not be contained by UT Martin. Ugba also had 17 rebounds in the game, which is the most by a Gov this season and the second highest total in the OVC. The Govs are currently 7-9 in the Ohio Valley Conference. The Governors will play Southeast Missouri State University tomorrow, Saturday at 4:15. The game is available to stream on OVC, Digital Net, and Gov Sports Net. The women's basketball team lost to UT Martin on their road 100-66. Senior Brianne Alexander had a total of 11 points. Following her was redshirt junior Fallon Baker, who stayed hot with 9 points. The Govs were not able to shut down UT Martin's Kendall Spray, who had 25 total points for the Skyhawks. The Govs are 5-6 and sitting in 7th place in the OVC standings. Belmont University currently sits in first place, going undefeated with a record of 11-0 winning. The Govs play at Southeast Missouri State tomorrow, Saturday at 2 p.m. It's available to stream on the OVC Digital Network as well as Gov Sports Net. The men's tennis team dropped a 5-2 decision in their home opener against Chattanooga. Ale Drabish, ranked number 4, and Jacob Lorino, ranked number 6 in singles, won matches against Chattanooga's ranked number 2 and 3 singles. All 3 tiebreaker matches fell short for the Govs, allowing the Chattanooga team to take the final win. The Govs play at Lipscomb tomorrow, Saturday, the 3rd at 5 p.m. for the start of their 7 away game series. In local sports, Mike Fisher has returned from retirement and has rejoined the Nashville Predators. The Preds played last night at home against the Los Angeles Kings, winning 5-0. The Preds came out hot, scoring 3 goals early in the first period and followed with another goal in the second period. The Preds scored again in the third, putting them up 5-0. The Preds are currently in second place in the Central Division behind the Winnipeg Jets. And for all the football fans out there, the Super Bowl is coming up this Sunday, February 4th. The Philadelphia Eagles will be playing the New England Patriots. This will be the 3rd appearance in the Super Bowl for the Eagles, who have yet to win the Super Bowl. The Patriots will be returning again after winning 5 times, all with quarterback Tom Brady. The game will start at 5:30 p.m. Central Time on NBC. That's all we have for sports. APSU-TV News will be right back.
Are you prepared for life outside of college?
Probably not yet.
Austin Peay's Career Services is there to help you transition to post-grad life.
I've had some friends use Career Services, but I've never used it myself.
Whether you need assistance finding a major or preparing for your future career, this free service has all of the tools to guide you.
We try to equip students and alumni with the tools that they need to go through that job searching process.
They built their resume and it gave like complete relief off of me because I was able to walk out of there and interview.
The entire reason of going to college is so that you can actually get a job. So those resources that are available to you in career services are second to none on campus. It's the best place to go to.
Stop by room 210 in the Morgan University Center or visit www.apsu.edu/careers. Take the first step into your future today.
How will you lead to a better future? Will you lead through life-changing innovations, or will your leadership shine through the quality of your work? Success is defined by the individual. So it's time to think about the person you want to be and where you will learn to lead through excellence. It's time to become a governor at Austin Peay.
Yeah, that might be too late. I would do the health package. Put the chairs up and like sit up here. Okay. Take a look at this, might be too late.
Welcome back. A failed missile test has U.S. officials questioning their tactics when it comes to North Korea. CNN's Brian Todd has a closer look.
It's a worrisome misfire in the middle of a high-stakes standoff with North Korea. The Pentagon today confirming that in a live-fire test on Wednesday, similar to this one, an American missile interceptor in Hawaii missed hitting its target, a medium-range intercontinental ballistic missile fired from a plane. The system is designed to protect the U.S. from any missiles launched by Kim Jong-un. U.S. officials say despite the failure, they still learned crucial information about the system. But analysts worry about how North Korea's aggressive young dictator, who is rapidly advancing his nuclear missile program, might read the failed American test.
All it does is embolden them. It just encourages them that as long as they continue to advance their missile program, maybe someday they'll accomplish the ability to evade those defenses.
The failed defensive test comes as sources are telling CNN tonight of a growing division inside the Trump administration about going on offense, specifically over whether to hit North Korea with a preemptive first strike, trying to get Kim to stop his weapons buildup. Sources familiar with the dynamic say, on one side, Defense Secretary James Mattis and Secretary of State Rex Tillerson are urging caution, warning the president of the dangers of a first strike. On the other side, National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster and one of his top deputies are insisting the Trump team should at least consider a strike and prepare for one. The man Trump reportedly once wanted to be his ambassador to South Korea, former NSC official Victor Cha, had his name pulled in recent days because he warned the president's team that a first strike on North Korea could lead to a disastrous war.
The conflict and confrontation that he had with the Trump administration underscores that he was not hawkish enough for them, and the fact that he expressed concerns about the bloody nose strategy shows just how serious the Trump administration is considering it.
The apparent choice of Cha had drawn widespread bipartisan support on Capitol Hill. Prior to his name being floated, he spoke often to CNN about the North Korean threat.
A preemptive strike is by far the most risky of all the different alternatives for dealing with this missile threat.
Cha turned down CNN's recent request for an interview, but in an op-ed published Tuesday in the Washington Post, he again argued that a preemptive strike could lead to carnage on the ground, a view sometimes at odds with the president and some members of his team who have argued that diplomacy, sanctions, and other measures simply haven't worked to steer Kim from building his arsenal.
Complacency and concessions only invite aggression and provocation.
But tonight, some analysts and generals are echoing Cha's warning that Kim might retaliate if the U.S. launches a strike.
It will be a very kinetic, physical, violent fight.
The potential casualties in the first hours of a conflict could be in the tens of thousands, and that's a conventional North Korean artillery response. Obviously, a nuclear response, you could be talking about millions of casualties overnight.
Another warning from analysts about a, quote, bloody nose strike, that it would undermine America's crucial alliance with South Korea and could bring China into a conflict if the Chinese fear their troublesome ally in Pyongyang is on the verge of collapse.
After days of anticipation, President Trump is expected to approve the release of a controversial Republican memo, setting up a clash between the White House and the Justice Department. CNN's Abby Phillip reports.
President Trump expected to ignore the warnings of his FBI chief and Justice Department officials, approving the release of the GOP memo alleging FBI surveillance abuses today. CNN has learned that President Trump has told friends in recent phone conversations that the memo may help him discredit special counsel Robert Mueller's Russia investigation. House Speaker Paul Ryan insisting otherwise.
The more transparency, the better. This memo is not an indictment of the FBI, of the Department of Justice. It does not impugn the Mueller investigation or the Deputy Attorney General.
The Washington Post reporting that Mr. Trump never had any hesitation about releasing the memo and made the decision before even reading the document on Wednesday, after 2 conservative congressmen brought the memo to his attention just 2 weeks ago.
I have concerns about the process, about representations that may be made in court pleadings.
I think it's up to the American people to judge for themselves.
The Post also reporting that President Trump thinks releasing the memo will help him build a public argument against Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein's handling of the case. CNN has reported that President Trump has recently vented about wanting to fire Rosenstein. A senior administration official tells CNN the memo is likely to be returned to Congress today with no redactions, but the House Intelligence Committee may still make changes to accommodate intelligence concerns before releasing the memo to the public. Despite this, a source familiar with the FBI's stance says the Bureau continues to have grave concerns, remarking that edits will not change the overall false narrative of the memo.
This memo is of such low quality that when it is out there, people will very rapidly see that this is just the latest installment of second-rate efforts to impugn the FBI.
CNN has learned that top White House aides are worried that FBI Director Christopher Wray could quit in protest if the memo is released. Others downplaying the memo's significance, wondering if it is worth the showdown between the president and his hand-picked FBI chief.
Mr. President, are you worried the FBI director may quit over this decision?
Former FBI Director James Comey, who was fired by the president last May, tweeting that he appreciates the FBI speaking up, noting American history shows that in the long run, weasels and liars never hold the field so long as good people stand up.
Now on today's Health Minute, you may see more women than usual wearing red today. That's because it's the American Heart Association's National Wear Red Day. And CNN's Kim Hutcherson explains more in today's Health Minute.
Friday is National Wear Red Day to help raise awareness and advocate for more research for women's heart health. Heart disease is the leading cause of death for women in the United States. Lifestyle choices like smoking, poor diet, and excessive alcohol can increase chances of heart disease. So can conditions like diabetes and high blood pressure. There are things you can do to lower the chances of heart disease, such as including healthier foods in your diet, fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. Choose foods low in saturated fats, cholesterol, salt, and added sugars. Get out and be active. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention suggests adults need 2 hours and 30 minutes of exercise each week. So grab a friend who'll keep you motivated. Be smoke-free and limit alcohol use. Also, know your numbers for blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar, and body mass index, or BMI. It could save your life. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
Forget Phil, the prognosticating animals people are really paying attention to the weekend and are making their Super Bowl picks. CNN's Reed Bynum has those answers and more on today's Take a Look at This.
Super Bowl predictions are rolling in, and America's four-legged football fans can't seem to agree on the winner. In Cincinnati, after much deliberation, Fiona the Hippo is going with the Eagles. The Memphis Zoo's Panda Lele agrees, pulling down an Eagles flag and wrapping himself up in it. But April the Giraffe begs to differ. She's all about the Pats. Ferry crew members in Australia fished a wallaby out of the Sydney harbor. They looped a rope around her body and used that and her tail to pull her aboard the ferry. This isn't the first wayward wallaby spotted in Sydney. Earlier this month, another caused a traffic jam while it was hopping across the harbor bridge. And here's a different sort of rescue. An Illinois deputy is being hailed a hero after he saved himself and 3 others from an alleged drunk driver. The officers were conducting a DUI stop when another vehicle sped past and nearly hit them. Officer Schutz shoved the others out of the way and ran back to his car. He was able to chase down the errant vehicle and arrest that driver for DUI. For today's Take a Look at This, I'm Reed Binion.
Well, we certainly want to welcome you back to a new year of APSU-TV News. A lot of new faces here this time, and still some old faces. Excited for this new semester to go?
Yeah, we got a whole new crew behind the scenes. It's great to work with everybody. New people, love it, love it. New producer.
Yeah, new producer.
Yes, a new producer, yes.
Also, I had a lot of snow coming in. We lost 2 full days of the first week of school. Yeah. That was nice.
Set our production days back a little bit, but we're glad you're still here watching.
Well, those warmer temperatures should come back, but I heard the groundhog did not see a shadow. Is that how it works? If it doesn't see a shadow? I don't know. We got more winter is what I'm hearing.
I think it's 2 more weeks of winter.
Oh, man. I was really looking forward to shopping for all the spring clothes and everything and catching all the coupon sales and everything, so I guess not.
Also, Super Bowl Sunday, this coming Sunday.
Oh, yeah?
I'm picking the Eagles.
I'm definitely picking the Eagles. Patriots cheat.
I think me and Brice are picking the Eagles too.
Yeah.
All right, so hoping for that to happen.
I'm picking the Eagles because I want a new team to win.
Exactly.
They have yet to win a Super Bowl, so definitely want them to steal that away from Belichick and Brady and those Patriots. That's all the time we have for today. Be sure to join us in the interaction by liking us on Facebook and Instagram on facebook.com/APSU-TV News and APSU-TV on Instagram.
Thank you for watching another edition of your Gov's News Weekend Update.
And as always, let's go Peay.